Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade in
Shade
the
in the
City.
City.
I'm Treese.
It's Nels.
And please make sure that you hit that like button as you're coming in, guys.
And that subscribe button.
And we just want to say thank you, Shade Squad. We are now a community of 201, last time I checked. So we just want to say thank you, guys, before we even start off with part 2 of the reunion, because I'm going to be real with y'all. It wasn't giving what it needed to give for part 2. But yes, thank you guys for helping us achieve another goal. And so here's to 300 people. Let's do it and let's keep getting shady. We're picking up where we left off.
In the drama.
Right. Laverne and Precious are still arguing about who said who and who told what, and about getting rid of Laverne. So we get deeper into it. And Sabrina explains how Carmen called her and talked about how they need to break up the block, meaning Clifton, Joy, Ace, and Laverne. Nephew Tommy asks Carmen about it, and she says that she don't know what they talking. She got receipts, and it was not her that was behind it.
But she ain't show no receipts, though.
I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't giving believable, Carmen, but I'm just saying. So then Ace explains that Precious wasn't really like trying to start no mess. They were just having real women conversation.
It wasn't from a bad place.
Right. And that's why she felt it would be appropriate to share this information with Laverne, that there was a plot, you know what I mean? And so basically not to feel any type of way. It doesn't mean that like you're not ready to love. It's just you've basically been plotted against. This has turned into fucking Survivor instead of Ready to Love. So, which I think I've kind of been feeling that way this past 2 seasons. Like it's become more of Survivor than actually like having real love connections, but that's just me. So yeah, no. And then I think that was pretty much it. Carmen and Precious basically start to go back and forth because Precious is standing by her story, y'all, and basically says Carmen orchestrated this whole thing.
Carmen even says that a few weeks ago, Precious reached out to her, and Precious was like, no, I did not call you. And I just feel like if you got the receipts, boo, why? Have we not seen reunion shows where they pulled out their receipts?
Right. So I don't know, y'all, but needless to say, then they want to, Nephew Tommy lets them know that they're playing high school games, and I can appreciate this, Nephew Tommy, for checking these 30, 40-year-old folks, but because it is kind of high schoolish. They want to recap their hot guy. I said, oh, is this what he is? I mean, he was. I'm sorry. If I was going to give anybody a label of hot guy, I think I would have gave it to Clifton first. I would have gave it to Laverne first. But okay, if we're going with Demetrius as the hot guy of this
season, you know what I think it was? When they showed the recap, all the
ladies were like drooling over him.
Exactly.
I feel like Clifton got that same energy. I even felt like Laverne and his den got that same energy when they first got there. So that's why I'm like, but it's just personal preference. So, you know.
Yeah, I know. I was in shock. Demetrius looked like he was in shock too.
He's like, what? What did I do?
I was the hot guy. Okay.
Right. So then we talked about the footage that they show. Then Nephew Tommy asked Tina, they go back to the clip of them at Cheesesteak. And as they're, sitting down, and she basically tells him that he has player energy. And so Nephew Tommy's like, what made you say that? And she says, well, coming into the process, a lot of the girls had, kind of given her a rundown on all of the men and who was who and what. And she said she appreciated it. And she said, but one thing that she did notice is everybody had this continuous sexy chocolate drop Demetrius narrative. And she was like, and I wanted to know who he was
in this
outside of
process.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could appreciate Tina's answer. Kudos, girl. That was, and so she says
but he kind of felt like, why couldn't I just be confident or a fly guy? Why did I have to be a player or give player vibes just because everybody liked me?
Right.
So yeah, I kind of felt both sides. But she also said like she probably shouldn't have came on, as hard as she did, you know what I mean, and categorize him that way.
Right. Then, basically she says that, he's a good person. He's just not her person. And to me, it really wasn't giving that there was even a deep connection. I didn't really believe in that no way, even when they showed it on camera. And y'all, according to Paul, there was not a connection. Paul's out here dropping receipts. Shout out to Sabrina Seal last season. If y'all don't follow her and her YouTube, y'all definitely should, because she was out here. She got Paul's video on her channel. He out here dropping tea. I was like, go ahead, Sabrina. Get that insider information.
So then Tommy wants to know about Sabrina's connection with Demetrius and, why she was feeling him so much. And she was like, he's confident, capable, and that's something I'm attracted to. Like, he's smooth, tall, dark, and handsome. I didn't even know he was tall. I need to find out how tall he is.
He's definitely tall. I don't know the height, but he's definitely.
I did not know.
I think he definitely is at least 6 feet.
And Demetrius is over there giving looks like, well, shit, if I'm all of that and that's what you attracted to, why the fuck we here? Like this. It's really what the energy I got from him was. But he does say that he did send a text to her, after the process to find out, where they were. And basically she reached back out and was like, I just want to be friends. So they haven't had communication since. And Tommy is like, well, damn.
Even friends talk, y'all.
Friend. Right. And they just said basically, it's just awkward. So they just don't. And he said that he has some questions. Okay. Look, Trace, I have questions. And he said that he expects, people to move the way he moves. So I don't know what he's referring to, but apparently he ain't happy about it, about how the fuck she moving in these streets. And he's like, from the beginning, I let it be known up front who I was feeling, who my number one was. He was like, even when I was out with Sabrina, or even with what the hell was his other damn connection? I mean, not Sabrina. I'm sorry. Even when he was out with Tina.
Oh, okay.
Whoever the hell else it was. He's like, I let it be known. Sabrina is my top. Like, top connection. Cool, I fuck with you, but you're. So I think he's still in his feelings, honestly, about the Donovan shit. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it definitely was giving I'm still, because he kept saying, yeah, no, this whole time everybody knew who I was for. There was no confusion.
Exactly.
It was definitely a shot. It was a subliminal shot. It definitely was.
But he says, he is out here trying to date.
He's back on the scene.
Boo. And I guess somebody gonna snatch up that chocolate drop. So
okay.
So then we are moving on to Paul. And they take a trip down memory lane, and we see a clip where Precious was defending him when all the ladies, was talking their shit and ready to see his ass go when she stood up for him. I know we all remember that. Then we see a clip where he kind of, I don't want to say attacked, but he kind of did go in on her when he was really just delivering the message from the other ladies. And so, of course,
the men did a lot of, I'm going to say talking this season, like, especially during elimination. They did a lot of going off. I don't even think we saw that from the women, like when they got eliminated.
Yeah. So then nephew Tommy, he addresses the conversation, that he had with Precious, because he's like, Precious, you was there for the whole thing. Do you feel like he was being pretty aggressive? And she says, that, well, no, I'm sorry. He addressed him first. Right. And he says that, if that's all he saw of himself, he would have said like, yeah, he's a jackass. Because in that scene, he really was. I think you even said something about that scene, like he was being petty, and it was, you know what I mean? It was a lot. And then Precious says that, she felt like he was talking at her. And the whole time she was here, she was just here to defend him. And he turned around and gave her his ass to kiss.
Yep.
And you know what? I completely agree.
Sounds about right, because I do remember going off in that review, and I was like, watch he turn around in the next one when they were at the pool party. He basically tried to slut shame her along with Demetrius. Let's just be real.
So he did apologize. He said, if she was hurt. And she says, she respects his apology, but she's working on accepting it. She was hurt even just as a friend, like even on a friend level. It was right. A lot for her. So then we move on to the drama with Carmen. And he says he thinks Carmen was confused about the conversation. That if you don't say things to people, they take it as an implied response. And she's like, no.
She's like, that's a conversation that happened, sweetheart.
She was like, we had that conversation. And Paul says he didn't say that he was or he wasn't attracted to Dakia. So I guess she just took it as he wasn't attracted to her. And Carmen is like, no, you actually said that you were not. Like those words actually came out of your mouth. Dakia says she thinks that Carmen thought that she had a stronger connection with Paul than she actually had. And when he was saying great things about her and wasn't saying great things about Carmen, that Carmen was kind of like, oh, okay, well, watch this. And wanted to come with some tea of her own. So that's how she felt like that was the energy that Carmen was given. I think I agree. And she says they did actually both know that, towards the end, they were not going to choose each other. He really just got to say it first. So there was no hard feelings. There was no bad blood. And they did try to continue after the process. They did go on a date after the process. And she just felt like they're better as friends. Now, Tommy done brought up some tea.
Okay, that we didn't know about.
He was like, oh, you went on a solo vacation. She's like, I did go on vacation. But it wasn't solo. She's like, I got a boyfriend now. Okay? It's about time. I got a boyfriend. And she feels like he is the one. She is I guess a little frustrated that she had to go through this whole process when this dude was right at home. Basically, she probably knew him the whole damn time. And Paul says that he has a little dime shorty. Old man, don't get the hell off the guy.
We getting into Tina and her disappearing acts. He asked, so nephew Tommy asked Paul how he felt that she made the decision to leave. And he felt that if she started this process, she should have just, kind of finished it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She then tells nephew Tommy that Paul is a liar.
Straight to his face. Like that.
Straight like that. Now, again, y'all can go check out the video and see Paul's rebuttal. I'm sure Tina has been on live and I've missed it, but I'm sure somebody recorded it and I am going to go back and watch it. So yes, and maybe we'll give you that in a sip and shade and keep you abreast of the tea since the show is off. But anyway, so she says that that's bullshit. Paul wanted her to self-eliminate because he wasn't really feeling the process himself, and they just run off in the sunset together. Right. Paul says he's like, when did that happen? Where did this narrative come from? He's confused. And she's just like, no, this happened. Then nephew Tommy slides over to Demetrius.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked Demetrius, well, what was going on with their connection and how did he feel? And he said, honestly, we learned apparently for somebody who really wasn't feeling Paul or wasn't ready to self-eliminate, she done called Demetrius Paul 4 times.
Mm.
So I believe Tina starts to get upset at this point. And she's just because she's being made to look like she's Paul thirsty, and she
says it did happen, and
he should have told her
that. Yeah, apparently Demetrius noticed it the first time they were talking, and she said Paul, and then he said he was caught off guard, but then she said it again, so he was like, but he allowed her apparently to do it 2 more times, but she said like you should have said something at first. Now what got me was she said she ain't gonna give up no names, no nothing. But she said there was a 3-way phone call, and they basically gave the tea on they revealed the real reason why Paul was on the show, and it was apparently to promote
his
some
book
that he's got coming out.
And Paul's like, "What book? What's the name of the book? Give me, what's the book?"
He was like, "The only thing I do," he's like, "I'm a music producer. I ain't never claimed to be an author, but we do know he's an artist."
Right.
He might be sensitive about his shit.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know. I don't know who to believe right now, but she said it's a real thing. She was like, "You can stand up here and make me look crazy if you want to." But I guess we'll find out if this motherfucker comes out with a book or not.
You might hold off for a second, but
then of course we know. Well, then Donovan, he talks about how, the point of the trip was to kind of, cancel out people. And to him, basically, she was already canceled for him since she ain't never show up. So,
right.
And we saw that's when his connection with Carmen got even stronger.
Really strengthened, yeah.
Then, of course, we know Nephew Tommy wants to talk about her ghosting him and ghosting, the process. And basically, she refused to agree that it was disrespectful.
She said, "I did what was best for me."
For herself, yeah. And she was like, "Do you want an apology? You need an apology?" I was like, "Oh."
And Nephew Tommy says, he was so graceful with it. He was so classy with it. He was just like, "You know what? I just think you did yourself a disservice."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say,
I
actually do like Tina, but I've always said I felt it was disrespectful. And I do felt like he shouldn't have had to ask you for an apology. That should have been given just out of respect. Even if you don't feel like you need to apologize to anybody else in this process, I can't say now, if you got some insider tea that you want to give us, Tina, by all means, you can come by Shadeinthecity and let us know if Nephew Tommy did you wrong. But I don't think that he personally did anything to you where he had to be disrespected.
For me, it's not even that it's Nephew Tommy. For me, it's even when Ace did it, I said it was super disrespectful.
Right,
I just think it's disrespectful to waste anybody's time. You're on the show talking about you didn't feel like you had real connections with people and it was a waste of your time. So you didn't.
I was just getting ready to say, and she talked about how she was going on dates.
But if that's the case, why even make a plan or a date to come meet someone and not show up? It's super disrespectful not to call, not to show. Like, people don't have lives and shit to do too. So I just think it's super disrespectful. I don't give a damn who the hell it was on the show. That's like one of the most disrespectful things in the world to me. So then we move on to Precious.
Ooh, Precious.
And they go through the rundown of Precious, the history of Precious. And basically, she feels like instead of people taking her as like a fun, vivacious person, they kind of took her as like a person that wants to go to the club every night.
They want to dim her light, y'all. They trying to dim her light. That's how she feels. And she wants to shine.
Shining.
You stupid.
And basically, she doesn't even understand how Demetrius came up with this, because she said that they went on one bad date, had 0 phone calls. How the fuck is he even gonna come up with a conclusion about her? Like, and a bad one at that. So
it's the energy that she's given.
Demetrius says, that clearly it wasn't just him, because he doesn't have the power to just send a person home. He's not the only one that felt that way. And it wasn't him who said,
he said, "I'm not on, sweetheart. I'm not on. I don't control the network. I can't control the narrative that they created." And she's like, "But no, you sat up on TV. I saw you out here. You sat up on TV and said you believe I
tried to assassinate my character."
Right.
And he was like, "I just said I want to know what depth you're looking for, because right now that's not what you're showing me. Whatever it is, it's not for me." And he did say that, but I think he did also take the word social to mean going out or whatever. Because I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he did say that. And basically, she says that fuck you.
Yeah. No, she said, "Fuck you, bitch."
Yeah, she said, "Fuck you." She said she feels disrespected. And he was like, are you drunk? Are you high? And she said, no, bitch. Got the fuck up. Ready to have her niggas come jump his ass. I don't know what the fuck was going on here, but DC Precious came the fuck out. Okay. That motherfucker looked like she was ready to hike up her skirt and fuck that nigga
Yeah,
up.
no, yeah.
Look, I think OWN maybe in the previous seasons didn't have security on stage or some shit like that. You know, like the other reality TV shows.
Right. They're like, we don't need to do that here.
Right. I think after this season, they're going to feel like they need some goddamn security. So Precious takes her ass in the back. Everybody is in shock. The lady tried to talk her off a cliff. And she said, fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm going home. This motherfucker hopped in her motherfucking, she hopped in the motherfucking G-Wagon and took the fuck off. So we get into Dakia and her love triangle. So they show a clip.
Another one.
They show, you know, Dakia's clip, her history with Clifton, and also Joy's history with Clifton. And Joy just starts bursting out laughing after they show this clip. Like, it was awkward.
It was awkward, and it was, I'm going to be quiet.
She was literally the only one laughing. Even Clifton was next to her, not even laughing. Like,
he was like, Joy, like, really?
Like, you're doing the most.
Right.
So Tommy asked Dakia if she was disturbed with the way things went. And she says no, but she was disappointed because, you know, she asked him to make things clear to her. Basically, we saw in the clip where they were out on a date and she asked him, you know, are you still open to dating other people? And he said, of course, like we all are. So they had a connection, and he said it was a clear connection, although everyone on the show knew that his main connection was with Joy, right? It's like everybody had a number one, okay? But they were still dating other people. So what Dakia asked him to do was have a conversation with her if his feelings changed and maybe he only wanted to pursue Joy. But Clifton says that, you know, at the Truth or Dare, he felt like it was very visible that him and Joy's connection was super strong, and he felt like at that point there was no explanation needed. Which I thought was kind of rude. I thought was a little bit
okay. I was waiting for you to say it.
Because regardless to what you thought, you know, I should have taken that as we still had a conversation, and you agreed to have a conversation with me. So she could have taken it as, okay, this is your number one connection, and this is why you are like this towards her. But she says even after that, she didn't feel that way, because she says after that, they still like had more dates and were having deeper conversations. And he was like basically, he was like, it really wasn't that deep. Like, we wasn't walking down a yellow brick road, holding hands and planning a future.
And I feel like that's messed up because, as Nell said, it's not like, what I don't like is stop gaslighting Dakia and making her feel like she was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you were out on a date with her ex trying to make him jealous, when you were feeding her oysters and she asked you, and I feel like every date that they went on, she constantly asked him, is the door still open?
Mm-hmm.
And he continuously says yes. And now you get here. So what you said with your mouth, and now you're sitting here saying, well, you just didn't see it.
And my thing is, you said with your mouth that the door was still open. Why couldn't you say with your mouth that the door is now closed?
You didn't wait. You waited like until she was in a situation. Because I truly believe Dakia might not even came to the house if he would have just told her before they got there.
Mm-hmm.
But she was coming under the impression that she was going to cuddle with Clifton.
Exactly.
If you're so locked in with Joy and you can see it, why are you promising her cuddles?
I think that's what bothers me.
Bother her. Don't gaslight me. Don't make me feel like I'm crazy.
You are on the phone.
That you made me believe.
You guys have agreed to be cuddled up and snuggled up on the couch, but you're clearly also having conversations with Joy about sleeping in the same room and wearing the same type of pajamas.
And here's my thing. None of this, and this is the one thing that me and Nels discussed that I do not, and y'all know I love my Pisces, Joy, but in this moment, that was not your battle. That was for Clifton to speak up for himself and his actions. And the fact that you jumped in, but I'll let you.
I feel like the only battle Joy should have had was that goddamn wig sitting on her fucking head. What you should have did was comb your fucking hair over. That was the battle. Okay. Dakia always comes looking put together. Her hair is always on point. You are at the goddamn reunion with a fucking half wig on, where it looks like your hair is slipped back in a fucking ponytail and your goddamn wig is right here. That's what the fuck you should have been worried about. Let him handle that conversation, because you weren't in the conversation from the get-go. But Joy says basically she felt that Dakia didn't deserve the courtesy. She felt like everyone knew their feelings. Everyone knew that they had a connection from the beginning. And there was no need for that courtesy. And I completely disagree. Because, like I said, you were not in that conversation in the beginning. And there's feelings involved, regardless. Like I said, everybody knows people have a number one with their connections, but they are still going through the process of dating other people. I don't see why this is any different, just because she knows that you're the number one connection. She also says,
and if you really were that number one, you wouldn't have had to wait till for that. And maybe you knew, but the problem is, and this is my issue with Joy, you knew, and I'm somewhat not mad at you for your energy, because I get it, because I'm a Pisces. I get it. You're going to go for your man.
But like I said before,
he needs to give that same energy out in these streets. And if he's not doing that, then you can't go as hard for him, or you end up looking like an ass.
Didn't I say that about the whole plate situation?
Right.
If he's letting it be known, right, you wouldn't even have this conversation. There would be no conversation to have.
Right.
If he is, look, even like Demetrius said, he said, yeah, I went on dates, but everybody knew, really, I'm just going through the process, but this is my number one.
Right.
This is who I plan to leave with. Your man is out here telling people that the door is still open. So don't get on her for going by what the fuck he said. He ain't gonna tell her, oh, I think you created something in your head that no one else saw but you. I feel like she was validated in was apparently Dakia made a comment that I'm going to take him from her. Now, with their connection being so strong, I can understand why that would upset you, because it's like, okay, he's just going through the process, but he's not leaving with you, right? But if you want to be real, that's really everybody's goal. Okay, we're going through the process, but if we have a stronger connection, like you guys have a strong connection, but I'm trying to see where our connection goes. And if it could be stronger than what you have. And if it is, then yes, I do plan to take him from you. I don't know. I don't know. Clifton basically ended by saying, that he felt like it was visible and apparent. And then what explanation is needed? At the end of the day, I do feel like Clifton should have just handled it himself. I don't think he needed to come on as strong as he did, but I do think that it makes the message clear when he's the one that started the conversation, for him to be the one to end it.
I agree. So we talk about Wiley. Wiley gets his moment. Shout out to Wiley. And so we go through his footage and we realize he's not that innocent. And Wiley's just like, I feel like I was discounted, which we all said. We've said it in all of our reviews. He was discounted because of his age. Nobody ever took the time to really, I think the only person that really was trying to was maybe Dakia and Tiffany. Tiffany was here for it. So basically we go through the footage and he's just saying that like he feels like it was like monkey see, monkey do. Like as soon as Keena wrote him off in the first scene at the first meet and greet and was just heard his age and left her drink and everything and walked off, that He felt like everybody just followed along. We never before seen footage of Miss Sabrina saying like, "Oh, you look like a baby," like, and I was just like, "Oh, damn!" And he was like, "Yo, this shit is starting to become a little bit irritating. Like, I'm a grown ass man out here in the streets, so I've accomplished shit, I've done shit. Like, stop trying to make me feel like that." So anyway, we learned that apparently they asked Keena about that situation and did she dismiss Wiley? And she's like, "I never meant to hurt your feelings, Wiley." And she's like, "I'm sorry, I never," she tries to take accountability. And then Wiley's like, "I just feel like, but you're all up in my stories on Instagram and you're watching everyone, like you're literally on everyone. So it just makes me feel like you said one thing, but you're doing another." And she was like, "Oh, do you feel that way because
you think I'm checking for you?" He's like, "Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're checking for me." The fuck? She was like, "I'm not in your story." She's like, you are. She's like, "Oh, well, I won't be after today." Why? Because you got your cars pulled? The fuck?
Well, so then we learned that apparently him and Tiffany have continued their connection that they made on the show. And nephew Tommy
asked, she's like, "I'm gonna get my Wiley."
Right. And so they're ask her, "Well, are you putting all your eggs in Wiley's basket?" And she says, "Well, no, I'm not putting all my eggs, but I do trust him to take care of them." I said, okay, Miss Tiffany.
So we get into the songbird and the teddy bear.
Mm-hmm. The bearded one.
The bearded one.
As Mr. Reddy, shout out to one of our subscribers. Mr. Reddy likes to say, the bearded one.
And Clifton just says, her name is Joy. Like, that's what she brings. You know what? That gives me beauty. And beauty is her name.
No, you know what it gives me?
What?
Joy. Joy to me when I'm near you. That's Teddy Penny. Joy. Oh God, I'm gonna need you to go in your we're gonna need a lesson.
Let me tell you something. I passed all the songs on TikTok, okay?
I'm just saying.
When they'd be like, "Do you know these songs?" That one, yeah, you lost me with that one. So Clifton talks about how right after the show, a week later, they jumped right into a long distance relationship. And he said he basically lost his mind. He didn't know what the hell he was going to do. So he was in Mexico every other weekend. That is love and dedication.
Right.
Okay.
He put in that work.
He did. He put in that work. And apparently now they're trying to make a baby, y'all. She said she about to take some time off. And by next March, they try to make a baby.
Y'all was about to get me. The jukebox was going. And I was about to go half on it, baby. And then I remember who sang it. And I said, "Stop yourself."
So she says, like, she never felt this way before. Like, she's ready. She said, "I don't know what young love feels like, but this feels great." Right. And it's the most comfortable space she's ever been in. So I guess it's not really a compromise for her to take a break from, what she loves to do, which is sing. But I think she said take a break long distance. So I'm thinking she may still do it. And, he says this is the woman of his dreams. And it's been consistent. He just can't deny it. So he gets up, pulls out a ring box, dun, 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 and gives her a key. He says, he asked her to come home with him, which I thought was beautiful.
Giving her a key to the palace.
Yes. This is 6 months later? So next step, they're moving in, they're planning on having babies. So I'm assuming before, they get to the baby making, March, he gonna have another type of box with a ring.
I was gonna say, because in order to have a March baby, they would need to be doing it in like June.
Well, we're expecting her to have a ring on it pretty soon. Okay. They ended it off. Tommy opened the floor for everybody to speak. Donovan basically thanked him for allowing him to be a part of the process, because without it, he would have never met Carmen. And then, Zakiya.
And they seem like they're going strong, guys. We follow them, of course.
Are they? Right now,
they seem like they're going strong. He just did. She had a couple of the castmates do like videos for her son for his birthday. And he was like, "Oh, I can't wait to spend time with you and I can't wait to see you." So they're definitely integrating. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see it, but if it's working and it's a real love connection, I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Zakia says the process was a lot. And that Tommy did put a group of dynamic people together, and
Right.
she just feels blessed to have met everyone. Wiley says that he's learned a lot of things about himself, and to move forward with, and he is just happy to be a part of the process with these great, wonderful Black people. So that was the end, Joe. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for another conclusion of another season. I feel like, oh my God, like we've done so many different seasons at this point. But Ready to Love was our start. So here we are closing out the second season of Ready to Love. It's been lengthy, but we've been here for it. We thank you guys for sticking through it. Please make sure, if you have not already, that you have hit the like button,
you comment,
that you have subscribed,
and hit the notification bell.
And we, again, just want to say, in the attitude of gratitude, thank you so, so much. We are growing and glowing and manifesting, and
thanks
we
to you guys.
appreciate it, and we love it, and we love that you love us so much, and that's what makes us get up every day and find the time to do this and give you guys. Yes. So we love you. Thank you so much, and we will catch you next season. Welcome to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami. Yes. And we used to live in Miami too. So yeah. But thank you guys so much. And shit, maybe we need to plan a Miami trip and just go have dinner at the places they have dinner just to say we did it. But anyway, thank you guys. Closing out another season. We love you. And we will catch you.
Love you.
Next season for another Ready to Live. Good night. And happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day
to all of our mother followers and subscribers. And if you're a gentleman, wish your mother, wish your baby mama, your wife, whatever you got going on, wish her a happy Mother's Day on our behalf, and tell her to follow and subscribe.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Hey!